Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to this week's episode of Sunrise Small Talk. About 7:10 in the morning, and this week we're going to talk about the inflation report that came out on Tuesday and give you a practical application of what that means for you and your own personal economy. So, starting out, let's go back to 2020. I have the cars out. It's been a while, so excited to have the cars out again. 2020, onset of the pandemic, inflation was about zero. My micro machine here over the next few months started to increase pretty rapidly. Cars are getting bigger. Inflation was higher. The big scary number that we had in June of 2022 was that 9%, our biggest car here. Since then, we have steadily declined. We are now in the 3% range. So we got the report on Tuesday. It was 3.1% year over year. As soon as that news came out, 6:30 our time, 8:30 Eastern time, the market rallied. Huge rally. The Dow closed up about 500 points Tuesday after that news. And more importantly, what I think traders and Wall Street is looking at there is the fact that they feel like the Fed has done its job controlling inflation, and there's the Wall Street has priced in about a 0% chance of any other rate hikes this year, and there's also actually some talk about reducing rates next year. So what does that mean? Well, obviously we all know, unless we've been living under a rock or just simply don't care, that mortgage interest rates have skyrocketed. Kelsey and I purchased our current home in 2021, and we're in the 3% range. I know people who were down in the twos. Now, if you're looking at a 30-year conventional mortgage, I'm not in the mortgage industry, but I'm going to say you're at that 7.5, 8, maybe up into the 8s, depending on the type of financing you're doing. When this news about inflation came out, we had a drastic drop in yields. And what I mean by yields is the 10-year treasury. So if I loan money to the government for 10 years, that would have paid me about 5% at its peak a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. Now that number's at about 4.5%. And that's a really good indicator of what not only mortgage rates are going to look like, but car loan rates. Any type of financing, unsecured bank notes, SBA loans. Obviously, when rates are higher, we as consumers have a tendency to not want to borrow because it costs us more in interest payments. So the Fed getting inflation under control when we look back 12 months at the year over year has an effect on what bonds are trading at. The 10-year treasury is my main indicator there. If 10-year treasury yields are dropping, which they have, they've gone from 5% to about 4.5%. That means theoretically that mortgage loans and other interest rates will drop accordingly. When interest rates go down, we are more likely to borrow and spend. So effectively, that will boost the economy. There's obviously other variables out there, but that's a good sign. Inflation coming down, the Fed can be a little more dovish or a little more relaxed when it comes to these interest rate hikes and not having any more of those in the future, and potentially even having some rate cuts. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to share the video. As always, I hope you have wonderful plans for Thanksgiving, time with friends, family, and loved ones, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.